Let's put that genie back in the bottle.
Paints with the colors of the wind, bitch.
It's time for 2 Finger Point.
Power daddy.
Our shoes are in the pond.
Extra magic hours, which we in turn called extra tragic hours.
People called him the naked mole rat.
Did you really just 2 finger point?
Here are your hosts, Amber and Kylie.
Hi there, welcome back to 2 Finger Point Podcast, to our bonus episode.
Ooh,
So we're bringing you guys some more creepypastas. We couldn't resist. I know you guys couldn't either. So here we are with a couple more stories. If you guys don't know, I'm Amber.
And I'm Kylie.
And we're the 2 hosts. And here we are for our bonus creepypastas.
So let's get into it. Amber, what is your first story?
Okay, guys. So our next story is probably one of the more well-known ones. At least I remember this one. If you did any kind of creepypastas about Disney, it's called suicidemouse.avi. So do any of you remember those Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 1930s? The ones that were just put out on DVD a few years ago? Well, I hear there is one that was unreleased to even the most avid classic Disney fans. Yeah, you're right. The grammar is a little bit bad sometimes. According to sources, it's nothing special. It's just a continuous loop, like Flintstones, of Mickey walking past 6 buildings that go on for 2 or 3 minutes before fading out. Unlike the cutesy tunes put in through, the song on this cartoon was not a song at all, just a constant banging on a piano for a minute and a half before going to white noise for the remainder of the film. It wasn't the jolly old Mickey we've come to love either. Mickey wasn't dancing, not even smiling, just kind of walking as if you and I were walking, with a normal face expression. But for some reason, his head tilted to the side as he kept this dismal look. Oh, geez. It's something about a head tilt. As soon as you see it, it kind of like sets the tone that someone's like ready to fuck shit up or like size you up or...
Yeah. Unless it's a dog, head tilts aren't good.
Oh, you're right. I do love a good dog tilt.
Those are the only good ones.
You're right. Okay. Up until a year or 2 ago, everyone believed that after it cut to black, that was it. When Leonard Maltin was reviewing the cartoon to be put to the complete series, he decided it was too junk to be on the DVD, but wanted to have a digital copy due to the fact that it was a creation of Walt. When he had a digitized version up on his computer to look at the file, he noticed something. The cartoon was actually 9 minutes and 4 seconds long. That's already a giant red flag.
Yeah.
People were saying 2 to 3 minutes. We're tripling that.
Huh.
Okay. This is what my source emailed me. In full, he's a personal assistant of one of the higher executives at Disney and acquaintance of Mr. Maltin himself. The email reads, after it cut to black, it stayed like that until the 6th minute, before going back to Mickey walking. The sound was different this time. It was a murmur. It wasn't a language, but more like a gurgled cry. As the noise got more indistinguishable and loud over the next minute, the picture began to get weird. The sidewalk started to go in directions that seemed impossible based on the physics of Mickey's walking, and the dismal face of the mouth was slowly curling into a smirk. Oh, God.
Nothing worse than a smile.
I was just gonna say, like, of all things, like it's always the things that you think to not be afraid of that they turn into being creepy. I'm like, so nothing's safe. I'm basically just gonna be a walking ball of anxiety because I'm scared of everything already.
Yeah. Oy.
On the 7th minute, the murmur turned into a blood-curdling scream. Great. The kind of scream painful to hear, and the picture was getting more obscure. Colors were happening that shouldn't have been possible at the time. Mickey's face began to fall apart. His eyes rolled to the bottom of his chin like 2 marbles in a fishbowl, and his curled smile was pointing upward to the left side of his face. There's like a picture on here, too, that kind of shows that, and it's freaky. I saw the picture before I read this, and I was like, oh, we're about to hear about this. So, I mean... maybe we'll post this on our Instagram, the pictures, or maybe we'll just post the links and let you guys look, depending on how much we want to see these pictures again, because they're not great.
I think we can either do like a warning or there might be a little filter on Instagram that's like sensitive content, click only if you want to see.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Either way, we'll make it accessible however we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just protect you before you view it.
There will be warnings because, yeah, I need a warning. I might forget and click on it. Okay. The buildings became rubble floating in midair, and the sidewalk was still impossibly navigating in warped directions. A few seemed inconceivable with what we, as humans, know about direction. Mr. Malton got disturbed and left the room, sending an employee to finish the video and take notes of everything happening up until the last second, and afterward immediately store the disc of the cartoon into the vault. This distorted screaming lasted until 8 minutes and a few seconds in, then abruptly cuts to the Mickey Mouse face at the credits of the end of every video, with what sounded like broken music box playing in the background. Cool, so screaming and shrieking for 8 minutes and then just creepy, like, music box music.
Yeah.
Just to, like, really set it in and pack that punch.
How eerie.
Ugh. And who decide, like, when people make things like this, because we'll decide if this is real or not afterwards, but, like, who would sit down and create this and, like, sanely be able to finish creating a piece like this?
They do it for horror movies.
You're right, but God. I wonder about the psychology of those directors.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Now that I think about it. Okay. Ugh. That's a whole nother story. This happened for about 30 seconds, and whatever was in that remaining 30 seconds, I haven't been able to get a sliver of information about. From a security guard working under me who was making rounds outside of that room, I was told that after the last frame, the employee stumbled out of the room with pale skin saying, "Real suffering is not known," 7 times before speedily taking the guard's pistol and offing himself on the spot. Oh my God.
Wait.
I feel like this is kind of like The Ring, right?
Yeah.
Where they watch the video.
So it's like mind control.
Yeah. I never saw The Ring, but I know it was like you watch the video and 7 days after you die.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
It was kind of like mind control, but also in a way like Final Destination.
Yeah. I was going to say that too, which I haven't seen those either.
It also sounds like Bird Box. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Kind of like that, like Don't Look, or
yes, you're right. That movie was freaky.
It was good though. It was really good.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock's a good actress though, so
yes.
I mean that's why it worked. Boy and girl. Sorry, I just wanted to say boy and girl.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that detail.
I know. I was like, that's so fun. That's so Sandra Bullock. I feel like that was her little flair in there. She's like, we're not even gonna name that boy, that's girl.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the scary stuff. This is what I have to do when I watch scary movies and stuff afterwards. My go-to show is SpongeBob. I have to watch SpongeBob after a scary movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you have a go-to?
No, I have to have a palate cleanser though, but I don't have like anything specific. But I'll give SpongeBob a try.
You should. It works pretty well, especially if you've been watching them up until like 3 a.m. like I did in college. And I was like, okay, it has to be something. And everyone agreed on SpongeBob. So that was what it became. Okay, back to the scary stuff, guys. It's almost done, I think. So, the thing that I could get out of Leonard Maltin was that the last frame was a piece of Russian text that roughly said, "The sights of hell bring its viewers back in." As far as I know, no one else has seen it, but there have been dozens of attempts at getting the file on rapid share by employees inside the studios, all of whom have been promptly terminated from their jobs. Whether it got online or not is up for debate, but if rumor serves me right, it's online somewhere under suicidemouse.avi. If you ever find a copy of the film, I want you to never view it and contact me by phone immediately, regardless of the time. When a Disney death is covered up as well as this, it means it has to be something huge. Get back at me. TR. I've yet to find a copy of this, but it is still out there. I know it.
I don't know when Mickey Mouse goes public domain, unless he already has. But did you see what happened to Pooh once he went public domain? They made a horror film of Pooh and Piglet.
Wait a minute. Yes. And it was the same thing. It was black and white. And didn't their eyes like melt or something? It was like really freaky. Maybe it was a different one.
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's an indie film, so I don't know when or how we'll get to see it, but I don't know if I want to. But like that's just what this reminds me of. Like we're just ruining Mickey Mouse.
I mean, literally, we just had 3 stories and they all just defaced Mickey Mouse so terribly.
Disclaimer, guys. We are not saying Mickey is evil. These are fake stories as far as we know. And we love Mickey and we'd like to continue our image of him to be happy and positive.
Yeah. We just love a good creepy story. And it seems to be that all of you creepy motherfuckers love to just fuck with Disney. I mean, Mickey, not Disney.
Okay, so this one says estimated reading time 5 minutes. We'll see if that's true. The title of this is Why I'll Never Work Security at Disney World Again. And it's written by someone going by the name of Disney Security. I work security at Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Typically, I wouldn't say where I work, as obviously there are some pretty strict rules about things employees can put online. But I just don't think I can tell this properly without that context. And honestly, I think this may be it for me anyway with this job. I just can't see myself working here any longer now. I've been with the company for 23 years. The first 20 years I worked the parks, nabbing shoplifters and rounding up people who were drinking too much for the heat. Occasionally there'd be a fight to break up, but people usually kept it pretty mild. The heat and walking were getting too much for me for the last few years, so I asked to be transferred somewhere with air conditioning, and the company moved me to one of their resorts. While the working conditions were 110% better as far as climate and comfort go, the guest issues were trickier, mainly domestics. I guess the expensive and stress of vacation got to a lot of people, and I'd be called to the neighboring rooms because some mom and dad were yelling at each other. I tried to suggest they take a nap or go to do separate activities for a bit, and that would calm them down.
That's funny. You're telling adults to act like you're like, go put yourself in timeout. Maybe you need a nap.
Exactly. But none of that is what I'm here for. I've got to get this out while I have time. 3 days ago, I got a call from management. Apparently, a couple of days before that, housekeeping had gone into a room that should have been turned over that day. Turned over is when a guest leaves by about 11 a.m. and the next guest checks in around 3 p.m. That is not what turnover means. Turnover means housekeeping goes in and resets the room, coming from someone who worked at a hotel. Okay, so all the guest items were still in the room. Housekeeping made a note of it and moved on, but during the next 2 days, when they entered the room, everything was still there and untouched. I went to check it out, and sure enough, there was an empty room full of luggage, clothes, snacks, some toys, everything a family would need for vacation. The manager had already looked up the previous reservation, and it was for a family, dad, mom, and 2 little kids. I tried to call the phone numbers they had given, but all went to voicemail. We were a bit stuck, so I made a call to that housekeeper to clean the room and take the family's personal items to be held until we could get into contact with someone. I went digging into the reservation more. The family had arrived 5 days before housekeeping discovered all of their stuff. I found that the family had paid a parking fee and their vehicle description was listed. A quick walk into the parking lot and I had easily located their vehicle. So that ruled out a car accident of them deciding to just leave all their stuff behind. Next, I saw that they had bought a dining plan. This is when a guest prepays for all of their food. They're given a certain number of credits to use for a meal. This family had only used 3 credits, and the last one was 2 days after they checked in. It appeared that the day they arrived, they got here late and probably just stayed on the resort. The next day, they used 2 credits at Epcot. Second park day, they just used 1 credit at the Magic Kingdom, and it was at breakfast time. Now, at Disney, we have something called magic bands. Magic bands are worn by the guests and act as a room key, park ticket, credit card, dining reservation payment, fast pass, and more. It took some work, but I was finally able to look up this family's fast pass history. The day they went to the Magic Kingdom, they had breakfast at a restaurant in the park, rode a couple of rides, and then rode their last ride. Do you want to guess the ride, Amber?
Oh God, was it Space Mountain?
No.
Oh
The
no.
Small World.
Oh no.
Around 11 a.m. and then nothing. Finally, it was time to bring in someone else on this case. I called an old coworker at the Magic Kingdom and asked him to pull some security footage for It's a Small World at the time they wrote it, and I made my way over there. When I got there, my friend was very confused, almost distraught looking. He showed me what he found. There's usually a camera in the direction where the rides load and unload. The footage showed them scanning their bands to use their fast pass for the ride and boarding the ride. The footage from the exit of the ride just showed the other people in the car exiting. They weren't there. Of course, we thought the worst. Maybe one of the kids had fallen out and mom and dad and the other kid got off in the middle of the ride to help, and they all got injured or killed or stuck in the machinery somewhere. So we shut down the ride, middle of the day, turned off the earworm music, and turned up the lights. My buddy and I walked that ride 3 times before we called in help. Eventually, there was close to 10 cast members searching, and we didn't find anything except for 3 cell phones and a hat. I was right stumped. I kept digging the past couple of days, and I'm not sure who to tell what I found next to. I've called the police, and I suppose they're on their way, but the company has a way of covering up things like this, and I decided I can't live with myself if I don't put out some type of warning. I kept digging into the reservation over the last couple of days, and today I noticed they had purchased a memory maker. There are photographers all over the parks and cameras and a lot of the rides, and with the memory maker, the photos are all free. They automatically get added to the guests' Disney accounts when the system knows their picture has been taken, and all systems always know. Everyone's whereabouts are always known with the magic bands. Well,
I'm getting a bad feeling. I can feel it. I don't know what it is, but you said Small World, and I already just like...
Yeah, that ride. Well, I opened up their memory maker photo album, and I swear there were 732 photos. The first 30 or so are pretty normal. Epcot, a few rides in front of the castle, but the rest are all in It's a Small World. The rides only take 1 picture per go-around, so it appears as though this family has ridden this ride over 700 times. The first picture was pretty normal. Everyone looked happy, it was a busy day, and we had a full car of guests. The next one is rough to look at. The car is empty except for this little family, and they look so darn confused. The next 10 to 15, I can see Dad getting angry, yelling. Mom is holding onto her 2 kids like her life depends on it. And you can see the kids getting increasingly upset, crying. And it goes on and on and on. After 50 or so, it looks like they're trying to get out. In one, the dad is missing. In another, they're all gone. Maybe like they've bailed early in the ride and tried to walk out. But in the very next one, they're all right back in that dang car. After around 4:50 or so, I only see the mom and kids. It's just when I look closely, I can see Dad, maybe just his body now, slumped down in one of the other seats. Since about 6:75, there's just Mom and 1 kid, another body in another seat. The mom and kid aren't moving anymore. I think they're still alive, but just near catatonic. Looking straight ahead, pale. And y'all, I swear on my life, the dolls are moving or something. In some of these pictures, I can tell they aren't where they should be. I even saw one with the doll in the car with this family.
Oh my God, I have a sick feeling in my stomach. Oh, and I got chill bumps again.
Okay, we're almost done. I can't look anymore or I'm going to lose my lunch. So he's with you. I closed the album. Its file size has increased since I closed it. God, are there new pictures being added? I see on security cameras that the local police department just arrived, so they'll take over soon. I wish I knew what was going on, but I also wish this dang thing had never landed in my lap. I don't think I'll ever be able to update this. After I talk to the police, I think I'm going to walk out of here and never come back. I just want to get out of here. Before Disney feeds the media some lies to cover up the reasons behind why a whole family vanished. Because they didn't vanish. I know exactly where they are.
Oh, I got chill bumps at the last part when you said that. Oh my God. So the only thing, the logic for me here is, how are they going through the ride and like looping it? Like, where are they going?
I think it's kind of like they're stuck in another dimension or like a time loop.
Oh, okay. That's, oh, jeez.
But for some reason, their magic bands are catching it on photo in our dimension.
So sketchy. And so in another dimension, the dolls come to life. So we're lucky.
Oh, true, true.
We're lucky if they don't hear. As far as we know, they don't.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Ugh.
I feel like that would be a good movie.
Ooh. You know, a good movie in general would just be like Secrets of Disney or something, just like the things that happen after the park closes. Kind of
Yeah.
like oh, what was that movie? The Pixar movie, like the zoo one with when all the animals after the zoo closes. What was that movie called?
By Pixar?
Was it Pixar? DreamWorks.
Oh, Madagascar? That one?
Thank you. Yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
I don't recall a Pixar movie of that.
I know. I sometimes mix up my DreamWorks and Pixar a little bit. Yeah, you're right. That would be good, and I would totally watch it. I just think that Disney is just the company that they are. They wouldn't let something come like that because it's like defamation.
So do you remember one of our roommates had, I don't know if you were there, but she had us watch a movie. It was a horror movie that was actually filmed at the park illegally, but I just found the title. It's called Escape from Tomorrow.
I feel like I vaguely remember this.
It was in black and white. If that
Yeah.
helps. Yeah, I was thinking we should do like a review on it, like a watch and review video of it, because I feel like we could put that on YouTube and not get a big slap.
Yeah, that could be fun. We should do that.
Okay, so the week this comes out, maybe we'll just have like a big creepypasta horror week, and we can
Ooh.
do like 2 episodes and a YouTube video.
That could be fun because it would be, oh, I love a good like Halloween sesh in the middle of summer, and it'd be like June-ish. So it'd be like a good like Halloween in June.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, I'm excited.
All right, so we're gonna do a BuzzFeed quiz today, as promised. Villain theme to go with our creepy little phase we're going through right now.
We're having a moment. I think because the air is starting to get warm, I'm missing my fall and winter vibes. So I like lean into the creepy.
Okay, so we've got a BuzzFeed quiz we're doing. According to you, which Disney villain is more evil? So feel free to join in and have your thoughts on these. And if you're on YouTube, comment your thoughts. So our first one we've got is Mother Gothel versus Lady Tremaine. Mother Gothel is from Tangled, Rapunzel, and Lady Tremaine is Cinderella.
Okay. I almost feel like Mother Gothel is the more evil villain here, because wasn't Lady Tremaine, you said Cinderella, right?
Yeah, she's a stepmother.
Yeah, so she's a stepmom, whereas Mother Gothel was Rapunzel's actual mother.
No.
Oh, no? Oh, see, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I guess that's where it's like
I wanted to see your take on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story is Mother Gothel kidnapped Rapunzel because Rapunzel's hair was magic, and so she could never cut her hair because it kept Mother Gothel young.
Yeah, I still think I was gonna pick her anyway, and I still find her to be more evil because of that. I mean, they both entrapped these women, but for different reasons, and I just feel like that's more evil.
So I have the opposite take.
Oh.
So Mother Gothel, yes, she had some twisted intentions, but Rapunzel also had a loving motherly figure there. Of course, she had her parents that she rightfully belonged to, but Mother Gothel did pose to love Rapunzel. Rapunzel had things to do, whereas Lady Tremaine and her daughters always bullied Cinderella. So not only was she trapped, but they would speak down to her and just make her life miserable. So that's my take.
Okay, I think you might have swayed me then, because like I said, I haven't seen Tangled, so I'm taking bits and pieces of it. I think you're right. If she had things to do and she was still kind of loved by Mother Gothel, I feel like that's still nicer. And I think Lady Tremaine was evil, more evil, and on top of it, like Cinderella had no real like rule of thumb when it comes to moms anyway, because she had lost her mom really young, right? She never really knew a mother, and this is all she knew. Whereas Rapunzel had an idea of what love was supposed to be, and she's basically being love bombed by Mother Gothel here. So, okay, I think you swayed me. I think your opinion swayed me, Lady Tremaine.
And it looks like the public agreed with your original one. So 67% found Mother Gothel more evil. Okay, next up, this one's we're probably going to dig deep as well. So it's Gaston versus Jafar.
Oh, I mean, we've had some opinions recently given to us about Gaston, so now I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm thinking about what Anthony told us.
Yeah, Anthony has me rethinking that whole movie. And yeah, I'm going to probably go with Jafar because he had all sorts of evil intentions. He was trying to take over the throne. He wanted Jasmine. And Gaston, he's a bit of a narcissist and not accepting no as an answer from Belle, but she also was kidnapped by a beast and he was trying to save her.
Yeah, no, fully spot on. I agree. There was a lot of troubling things about Jafar, especially with him trying to, own Jasmine. I'm sorry, no. And also take over her throne at the same time. It's like, that's a double whammy right there. Absolutely not. Whereas, like we said, he's kind of an unspoken hero, the anti-hero, if you will, Gaston. He was just trying to do right by Belle, even if he does have some toxic narcissistic tendencies to him. I think I might have been I think Anthony might have swayed me over to being kind of a fan of Gaston's. More of a like, it's funny.
We have to do a deep dive on that. So the populace opinion, so 80% found Jafar to be the most evil. So they're with us.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
This one might be a little hard for you, or probably easy. It's Maleficent versus the evil queen from Snow White.
Okay. And I know both of these ones. So Maleficent, she was a queen and she was not invited to the christening. And back in the day of royal stature, when you're not invited to royal ceremonies like christenings and things like that, it's actually considered like a giant slap in the face, basically. Like you're not supposed to not invite people of royalty. So she was kind of, her vengeance was based on that. Whereas, which I can kind of understand. You got uninvited to a party. You're a little bit pissed. Maybe don't try to kill people, but I get where you're coming from. Whereas
she didn't kill, she just knocked her out.
You're right, which is also another reason why I'm kind of like, okay, okay. Whereas Evil Queen, it was purely based on vanity. Like it was just that Snow White was more beautiful than her, and she was an aging queen, and she couldn't bear the fact that Snow White was so young and youthful and beautiful that she had to kill her, and that's not a great reason.
Yeah, I actually listened to this podcast. It's called When You Wish Upon a Podcast, and they break down like all the Disney movies. And they started with Snow White because it's the first animated film released, or the featured film, I should say. And they really dug into like her insecurity.
Oh.
And so I would love to see a take on that as her being a villain like they did Maleficent.
Oh. Like her origin story kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like how it'd be really interesting actually.
But obviously I think I'm going to have to go with Maleficent. I'm sorry. No, the Evil Queen.
Okay, I was like,
I'm siding with Maleficent more is what I mean. Yeah, because the Evil Queen, it really was just about her image and her ego.
Yeah.
So let's let's figure out what the popular opinion was. So the evil queen was found to be more evil so it was 60%.
Ooh, but not by much. I mean, we know that Maleficent's evil, but it was like that little extra bit packed the punch.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I know this one. I think this one's pretty spot on for me.
So the
Okay.
next one, we have Cruella de Vil versus Ursula.
Ooh, actually, you know what? It's not so black and white now that I think about it.
Black and white like a Dalmatian.
Right. So obviously, as we know, Cruella de Vil was trying to kill 100 Dalmatians to make her fur coat. Not good. Very bad. We hate that.
We do not stand Cruella.
Right. But also, Ursula was taking people's human souls. And she has just a collection of human souls just down on the bottom of the ocean. Just, they're both bad. I mean, I feel like there was I don't know. I feel like in some way there might be a justification for Ursula's taking the soul. She's not actually killing them because they come back to life. She's actually trying to kill these dogs. I'm going with Cruella. She's more evil, in my opinion.
Same. Like, I'm sure in a grand universal point of view, Ursula taking souls is probably worse. But don't mess with my puppies.
Yes.
Okay, so we're right. So 61% of the population find Cruella to be more evil.
And rightfully so. I mean, there might be a few shitty people down there that deserved it. So,
yeah.
Next one. So, our next one, we've got Scar versus Hades. I mean, from a likability standpoint, I want to like Hades more because he was sassy and funny, and Scar killed his brother. You just like
yes.
I feel like he's more evil. You can't kill.
I'm with you on that. Like Hades, I feel like he's kind of born into where he is and his evil per se. So
yeah, well, misunderstood.
It was a sign to him. And yeah, he's more likable. Where Scar was just pure evil. He tried to kill Simba. He killed Mufasa and blamed Simba.
Right. Yeah, I forgot he tried to kill Simba first.
Yeah. So
yeah, he's got to go.
Live the king. And yeah, so 75% found Scar more evil. Shocker.
Oh, this next one. I don't. Ooh.
Okay, so we have Dr. Facilier. I'm gonna guess it's French since this took place down south. From Princess of the Frog, right?
I think so. That's why I'm looking. I'm like, I don't know him, but I think he's Princess and the Frog.
I've only seen it once. And then we have Shan Yu from Mulan. This is hard because as far as I know, Dr. Facilier was like a voodoo, like a witch doctor.
Oh.
So there's a lot of evil there. But then Shan Yu was trying to take over countries.
Yeah, I remember him just being super evil.
Yeah.
I feel like voodoo can go both ways, right? You can do good voodoo and bad voodoo. So it's like depending on
Is there good voodoo?
I feel like there could be. It's like good juju, bad juju, right? Like what you put into the world is what you get out. Maybe not. I don't know.
I feel like voodoo is like the black magic that is not good. But I don't know. I guess it could be. I feel like everything's got two sides other than trying to dictate and take over a country.
Yeah, I mean, it is like an ancient practice. So I think there is good voodoo versus bad voodoo.
Okay.
But, so I feel like I could give him that. Whereas like, but I don't know. Yeah, but Shen Yu.
We'd probably have to watch that movie before making judgments. Like, again. I'm probably going to go with Shan Yu.
Yeah, me too. I recognize that one and I know that's bad. So I'm going to say that one.
Okay, this was a close one. So 58% agree with us and 42% did not.
Okay. So there must be something teetering about him that, oh, this is an older one. I don't know if I remember these guys as much.
Okay, so we've got Governor Ratcliffe from Pocahontas, and then we have Claude Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I really don't remember Hunchback. I'm not gonna lie
Me
because
either.
I remember that movie scaring me when I went and saw it in theaters. Like all the fire, I think, is what scared
Mhm.
me. But we all obviously we know Governor Ratcliffe is a colonizer.
I was just gonna say, you can tell by his hair with that stupid bow in his braid, and I don't know, just not remembering Claude and seeing the bow, I'm like immediately like, you're bad.
I'm gonna look up why he was bad.
I'll look up Claude Frollo. Is that who you're looking up?
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
he took care of Quasimodo as an act of contrition for killing Quasimodo's mother. And he became consumed with lust for Esmeralda, which drove him insane. I want to know why he killed Quasimodo's mother.
Yeah.
Uh,
Still, compared to the overall consensus of like trying to colonize an entire area versus killing one
True.
person's mom, I feel like
We kill one person, we kill a whole population. Yeah, Ratcliffe, goodbye.
yeah, you're out of here. Oh, people did not agree with us. Yeah, 40% said Governor Ratcliffe and 60% said Claude Frollo, so they did not agree with us.
Okay. Maybe we need to rewatch The Hunchback.
I think so.
All right.
Okay.
So we've got Captain Hook versus the Queen of Hearts. This one's tricky because there's been so many tellings of both of these stories.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember exactly what the Queen of Hearts did that was bad. Like she just yelled at them a lot and made them do things, but like that's just kind of bullying. Whereas like Captain Hook was stealing kids.
Wasn't he?
Well, wasn't he trying to like steal them from maybe
I think he wanted to kill Peter Pan.
Well, that I knew, but I thought he was also no, maybe you know what? I'm mixing too many stories up. Like when I watched Hook recently and he stole Pan's kids.
That's why I'm saying like this is a confusing one because there's so many tellings of both of these stories.
Yeah, that I started mixing them. So I mean, he's out for blood. As far as I know, she's not. Right? What did she do?
I don't think she is.
What was her whole like shtick? She wanted to kill Alice.
She was the ruler of the land. I think it was just she was just like mean and in charge of Wonderland.
It's funny because if you break it down based on like the new Alice in Wonderland, it's kind of like she was trying to kill Alice and Captain Hook was trying to kill Peter Pan. So it's kind of like, who would you rather not die?
Yeah, I mean, I don't find Captain Hook too evil per se because it really depends on how you look at the situation. Like Peter Pan is kidnapping children.
Yeah.
But I do think the lesser of the two evils would be the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, same.
At least from the cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't agree again. They still think Queen of Hearts is worse. She was 57% and 43% said Captain Hook.
I guess it's kind of close. Okay, so next up we have Prince Hans from Frozen versus King Candy, which I think is Wreck-It Ralph.
I think so. I
saw that when it first came out. I haven't seen it since.
Something about his name says he's not very nice, but Prince Hans is such a jackass.
Yeah,
I hate him.
We gotta go with Hans.
Yeah,
like,
he sucks.
He is like the Disney F boy.
And everyone agreed.
Yes.
64%. 36% still said King Candy, so he must have done something that people didn't like.
Yeah. Huh.
And that was it. That was the end of our quiz.
All right. Thanks so much for listening to our bonus episode. We will see you this weekend. YouTube live. We're going to be watching our scary movie that is Escape from Tomorrow. And we'll be checking that out. Make sure you follow us on all the things: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't know. We're old. Those are what we're familiar with. And we are Two Finger Point Podcast on all of those. And until then, we will catch you next Two Finger Point Tuesday. for our new episode. We'll see you later. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. You can connect with us on Instagram and TikTok by following 2 Finger Point Podcast. That's the number 2 spelled out, TWO, Finger Point Podcast. If you'd like to hear your story, have a question, or even be a guest on the podcast, visit twofingerpointpodcast.com and click on our contact page. We'll see you next week for 2 Finger Point Tuesday, but until then, have a magical day.